Holy crap, Bungie just dropped a huge Twab today with a lot of information about the future of PvP. There's other info in the Twab too, which I will very quickly touch on, but the bulk of today's video will be talking about the big PvP changes coming down the pipe. If you want to read the Twab at your own pace, I will link it down in the video description. Okay, here we go. First of all, there's an emblem to show support for the transgender community. The code for that is right here. Paul Tassi can finally chill. Bungie has acknowledged that there is an upcoming community event to improve the Elixir Quarter. That'll be dropping in-game this coming Tuesday, November 22nd. Here's some details on what you need to do in that event if you want to pause the video and read them, but again, I want to move quick to the PvP info. Bungie has realized that with 2 weeks-ish left in the season, the Ruffian part for the Scallywag title was too strict and annoying, and they are lowering the requirement of Ruffians you need to kill from 50 down to 10.
Of course.
Oh man, if only somebody had mentioned that the Ruffian system was messy AF sooner. Moving right along. Bungie is taking measurements to reduce net limiting, aka a form of effing with the game directly. GG. And now the PvP news. First, Bungie gives a quick snapshot of their goals for each playlist, which falls under one of 5 buckets. If you're ever wondering what the point or the goal of each playlist in D2 is, this image should be your go-to reference chart. Beginning in Season 19, Quick Play is now going to be a playlist which is absorbing both Clash and Control together. I'm hearing a lot of mixed feedback on this change right now, but for the time being, I kind of like it. Having Clash and Control is probably dividing the current player base too much between 2 different playlists, and having one combined Quick Play area makes more sense to me. It will still use the current loose skill-based matchmaking system. A weekly rotator playlist will be on the directory, which will change each week between Momentum Control, Mayhem, Team Scorched, Rift, and Rumble. In my opinion, it's kind of a bummer that Rumble is being swept away into the rotator playlist, but as Bungie brings up later, almost nobody is playing Rumble these days. The weekly rotator will feature connection-based matchmaking. Competitive Division, aka the newly reworked comp playlist, will feature Survival, Rift, and Showdown. They're going to use a new skill-based matchmaking system that Bungie has put together, designed to very tightly match you closely against opponents of your skill. If you're interested in hearing more info about the new comp playlist, don't worry, it's coming in just a minute. They give a lot of info. Crucible Labs will be around in Season 19, showcasing 3v3 Rift, along with a 25% extra reputation booster. Labs will use connection-based matchmaking. You've got private matches, which are going to be unchanged. Go dick around in there and do whatever you want. You've also got limited time PvP events like you always do. Trials will replace Crucible Labs when it comes to town, using the unchanged current system of ticket-based matchmaking. More news on the Flawless Pool later, though. Iron Banner will now replace Quick Play when it comes to town, no longer replacing Trials, which I actually find kind of interesting. Bungie recently made Trials get replaced by Banner because Trials population would tank anyway when Iron Banner came to town, but maybe with the new, more condensed PvP playlists, that won't be a problem anymore. At least, here's hoping that it won't. Let's move on and talk about what Crucible rewards are going to look like in Season 19. In Season 19, there's going to be a new PvP-focused title called Glorious. We've got a few details from a screenshot on what those requirements are going to entail. Some, but not all. By completing objectives in the what? Objectives in the what? If you're interested in gilding your Unbroken, they're toning their requirements down a wee bit. Win streaks and hitting certain glory thresholds over multiple seasons are no longer going to be a thing, yay. Instead, you'll be challenged to win a number of matches during a given season and reach the Adept Division for gilding, but all of that can be done in a single season. According to Bungie, if you see someone with a gilded Glorious title, that means they have a very, very large PP. In Season 19, Shaxx is going to fall in line and allow you to focus PvP weapons and armor the way you can with other vendors at the tower. Think of how you can do the same thing right now with Trials, Gambit, and Iron Banner. To focus gear in Season 19, it'll cost you an engram, 10k glimmer, and 50 legendary shards. You won't need to claim an engram before focusing it with Shaxx, which is a very minor, albeit a nice quality of life change. Bungie gave us a little preview of the weapons we can focus in Season 19. All the PvP usual suspect weapons are right there. They mentioned that brand new PvP weapons are only going to be available as drops during their introductory season, and they will then become available for focusing later the next season. Bungie mentions they'll be looking at ways for players to earn older PvP armor sets through focusing in Season 20, aka when Lightfall comes out. Same deal for Trials, Nightfalls, Iron Banner, all coming in the year of Lightfall. Iron Banner is getting another new game type in Season 19 called Fortress. The core gameplay is going to be focused on capturing and holding zones. Clearly, though, they're looping in a little bit of recent in-game lore. If you forgot or just didn't know, Lord Salad Bar is now pretty much operating under the umbrella of Keitel, but still being in control of Iron Banner. And from the picture we got from Bungie, looks like some kind of Cabal shenanigans going on out there. Iron Banner Fortress will launch on January 3rd, 2023. Also in Season 19, we're getting some classic Iron Banner weapons and armor. They mentioned an auto rifle and a slug shotgun, which leads me to believe that maybe the Forward Path and Gnora's axe are probably coming back, unless there's another auto rifle or shotgun that I'm not thinking of. Side note, if we do get Gnora's axe back, I will be grinding for that. You probably should too if you like shotguns, but I digress. Good news for my buddy DFP, because they're bringing back a community favorite Iron Banner armor set all the way from the Taken King. GG. Really kind of wish the Warlock set looked better though. The Titan and Hunter set are straight fire. And now, matchmaking changes. In Season 19, they're going to be testing a bunch of new stuff, starting with FBMM, aka Fireteam Based Matchmaking. TLDR, your Fireteam's makeup should match your opponent's makeup. If you're in a full stack of 6 Guardians, it's very likely you'll get matched up with another full group of 6 players. Of course, the longer you wait in the matchmaking queue, the broader the criteria will get over time. It's not a guarantee that the Fireteam size will be equal each and every time. IMO, that is a huge step in the right direction for PvP, a great change. I really do hope it debuts well, because that's kind of huge. It's really very annoying when you go into PvP as a solo player and just get matched up against a full stack of 6 people each and every time. And vice versa, when I'm in a full stack of 6, I don't want to stomp a bunch of individual players. I want to fight another team. Anyway, after they have time to see if FBMM is working well in D2, they plan on rolling it out to more game types, including Banner and Trials. They quickly touch on improving connections at the high end of SBMM. Basically, if you're a ZK Mushroom level high-end PvP baller, they still want you to play against people around your skill level, but they understand that it sucks if you get put into a game with dog shit connections, which I completely agree is lame. To combat that, they've got a new thing called dynamic skill ranges. At the high level, it'll increase the skill window the system looks for when matchmaking, if you're in a low population skill bracket or playing during a low population time. You know, for all you people out there who love to sweat your dick off at 2:30 a.m. Due to the holidays being around the corner, they unfortunately will not be rolling out that new dynamic skill range idea until sometime in January. More info on that later. Moving on, changes to quitter penalties. In Season 19, Bungie is lowering the amount of suspension time being handed out for serial quitting out of quick play. They'll add the amount of time remaining to all suspension messages and make the messages trigger when clicking on the node. They will also tell you how much time you have left before you're allowed to play again. As they continue to tweak matchmaking junk, they'll eventually reevaluate the need for a quitter penalty in quick play at all, because it may no longer be needed. Moving on to Trials. In Season 19, we'll be getting 2 new weapons to hunt for, a machine gun, boo, and a 140 RPM hand cannon. Nice. Unfortunately, we do get a little blue-balled. Bungie doesn't even show us what they look like, no hints, no anything. They do mention they want to add FBMM into Trials in the future, which may potentially eliminate the need for a freelance mode altogether. They're working on a new paradigm that removes the flawless pool, but still provides protection for players working on Trials reputation rewards. Expect more info on that in Season 19, as the goal is to have a Trials lab drop in during Lightfall. Maps. In 2023, Bungie will be bringing back 2 more maps from earlier in D2, and they've just started production on a brand new PvP map, which they expect will be released sometime during the year of Lightfall. They mentioned they wanted the most recent new map, aka Disjunction, to give players a lot of room for long-range combat. With that in mind, I'm kind of hoping that the new map in 2023 will be smaller and a more intimate map overall. At long last, we arrive at the comp rework. Bungie first shares their overall goals for what they want competitive division to be and deliver to the D2 player base. In news that I'm actually really shocked to read, we're getting a true ladder-based system. There are 7 divisions total, each with 3 subdivisions. The goal is to provide players with ladders to climb and divisions to achieve, giving a more accurate representation of skill than the current glory system. Here's the info. At the beginning of the season, entering comp will put you into a placement series, during which you will not gain any division rating for 7 games. So pretty much you play 7 games, and after the 7th game, the game will determine what division you will now be placed into based on your skill. This is a very similar system to a fair amount of other PvP games out there. Looks like Bungie Bungie has been taking notes. As you continue to compete, your division rating will be adjusted on a number of factors, not just if you win or lose the game. As you earn and lose division rating, if you gain enough rating to move up an entire division, you enter a promotion series where you got to win 2 out of 3 games to be promoted to the next division. In the same vein, if you lose enough rating to move down a whole division, you enter a relegation series where you got to win 2 out of 3 games to remain in your current division. When you reach gold or higher, your division rating is subject to decay, aka if you don't play enough matches that week, your division rating will slowly go down. There will be a small intro quest that will demo the new division system and unlock a reward listed later in the Twab, which I have some feelings about. More on that in a minute. Bungie makes it clear they don't see division as something to really grind for if you're looking for rewards. They want the primary motivator to be sweaty PvP players showing off the size of their EP and making their number get bigger. They are not going to be adding any unique grindable rewards outside of those you can get anywhere else in PvP. They also mentioned they're going to be careful about giving out high performance rewards for achieving higher divisions. Since these divisions are tied to skill, some will be completely unobtainable to some players, no matter how much they play or how much they try. Side note, kinda sounds like it'll be hard to get max rank Ascendant by that comment alone. Having old pinnacle weapons tied to higher glory had, quote, unfortunate side effects. Quick thoughts on that. I've already seen a fair amount of people commenting that they don't like the fact that high rank comp grinding will not yield cool rewards. Here's my piece. Bungie is 100% trying to avoid another not forgotten situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, back in the day, Not Forgotten, the hand cannon, was tied to Ballin' Out in the comp playlist, and those who couldn't hang did not get the gun. The problem with that was that at the time, Not Forgotten was a powerful and very meta PvP reward. Those who earned the gun were clearly already good at PvP and made things much worse for people who weren't good at PvP by crushing them with a highly meta gun that they could not obtain. Now, I completely get wanting to avoid a repeat of that situation. However, in my opinion, there 110% needs to be dope, cosmetic, keyword cosmetic rewards tied to high-level comp grinding. To me, that is a perfect solution. Don't create another meta disaster where the poor get poorer. And by the way, that's coming from a guy who grinded out the Not Forgotten and used it to mush players' faces into the carpet. Anyway, but we do need to reward players for their time with cosmetic-only rewards that they can show off and be proud of that don't harm the meta. Thankfully, DMG is making the rounds on Twitter, and they're looking into such things for the future. I think that's a great call. We need high incentive for the new comp so people actually play it, and I get that they don't want to be introducing anything that completely fucks up the meta. But let the PvP ballers show off a little bit, you know? If it's only cosmetic, it won't really hurt anybody the way that Not Forgotten hurt a lot of people. They do mention that your division will give you a multiplier on all Crucible ranks, letting you earn rewards faster than you would in quick play. Oh, and if you were wondering, the Mida multi-tool catalyst, which was tied to comp, will now be a rare drop on any win in PvP. Yay. Oh, remember that PvP division reward I mentioned earlier? It's a new revamped version of the Rose hand cannon. Rose was actually a hand cannon a lot of PvP players really enjoyed using, myself included. It's going to return with an updated perk pool and random rolls. Bungie mentions it'll fire like a 140 RPM, but allow you to move like a 150 RPM hand cannon. Hell to the yeah. The perk list is built from popular, consistent perks designed to highlight 3v3 play. You get random rolled grips instead of an origin trait. However, Bungie goes on to mention that after the intro quest, you have a character-based weekly competitive division challenge to earn one more roll. One roll a week per character. Boo. I mean, I get that'll probably keep people interested in division longer, which is nice. Otherwise, people might grind their booty off for rolls, get a god roll, and then dip, which is what I would do. For the record, I get what Bungie is trying to do, but Christ on a cracker, I still don't have Touch of Malice, bro, and I raid every goddamn week. Oh well, at least the reward is really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to that revamped Rose with random rolls. Yay. Again, echoing DMG's Twitter comments, they are exploring further cosmetic rewards for Division in the seasons post Lightfall. My only worry, how much later after Lightfall? Gonna say it one more time. They need to get on that and they need to nail it quick. Yeah, PvP sweats will love the game of make number get bigger, but there is no reason to not have cool, great emblems and shaders, whatever, things that don't affect the meta as an extra incentive for players to exist and grind in comp. In my opinion, if Bungie really nails that, the playlist will be in a good spot. I'm just going on the record that they need to do it sooner rather than later. Obviously, it goes without saying, I'm really hoping that the sandbox in Season 19 will get improved over what we have right now. A lot of players still aren't happy about the AE system, the sidearm meta, and the list goes on. Don't get me wrong, a new revamped comp system is great, but if the sandbox ain't up to par, it's not going to mean jack. Here's hoping that Bungie really nails these things, because if they don't, not enough people might flock back for Season 19 PvP and for Lightfall. The remainder of the Twab goes into the usual movie of the week and all that junk. With that in mind, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the newly announced PvP changes? Are they enough? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Why? Hit me down in the comment section. I will be going through your comments later with a stiff drink. Please click the big red subscribe button on my channel. If you haven't already, it is free to do and helps me out a whole bunch. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on stream.